Fucking McTiernan, man. Die Hard, Hunt for Red October, and Predator. Even without the Last Action Hero, 13th Warrior, and Thomas Crown Affair, he should be a legend, and it's a sin that he's not. Biception. Also, pretending to be adversaries when you're really friends, measuring their dicks just for the benefit of the audience cliche.
What's the matter? The CIA got you pushing too many pencils?
Are they really arm wrestling in mid-air? Have you ever tried that? It's nearly impossible. It's like Arnie saw Over the Top 4 months before this came out and couldn't help himself.
General, my team always works alone. You know that.
I'm afraid we all have our orders, Major.
And that f***ing works. Look, if Arnie's team lives by its rules, it turns down this job and we have no movie. So of course they have to accept any and all last-minute stipulations. Arnold, Apollo Creed, Jesse the Body. Man, this was kind of the Expendables before the Expendables felt the need to exist. Also, Arnie and the Body, two future governors, were together in 2 movies this year, including The Running Man. It's like 1987 was giving a terrible warning to California and Minnesota that only Elon Musk could have figured out. But he was only 16 and nobody listened. The best jungle camouflage is face makeup, designed to make you look like a wrought iron fence that is halfway through being knocked over.
Who's our backup?
No such thing, old buddy.
This is getting better by the minute.
What kind of elite crew, Strike Force, Alpha Unit, Ranger, SEAL, Delta Team thing doesn't maybe sort out these details, I don't know, before the mission begins? Okay, if this is eye black to help with glare from the sun, like baseball players use, you've gone too far. If this is like Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder, you've gone way too far.
Bunch of slack-jawed around here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the former governor of the great state of Minnesota. No one will be seated during the barely visible walking through the jungle portion of the movie.
Mean anything to you?
Probably just another rebel patrol.
Cool. Is anyone gonna mention the pirate plank behind you 50 yards up in the air? Because it's super obvious and man-made and utterly demands you comment on it. Show off. You literally landed 15 minutes ago. I'm pretty sure your water supply is doing just fine. No need to Bear Grylls the local wildlife so quickly. Bird kicking.
Jim Hopper. I knew this man.
Seems likely. Also, didn't the dog tag say C.E. Hopper? Maybe old Jim is just fine knocking back some brews somewhere, and poor Calvin Ezekiel Hopper got predatored instead.
Ain't no way for no soldier to die.
Ain't no way for anyone to die, dude. Why would any small band of soldiers need this much f***ing grain?
As soon as they're set, I hit the fuel dump.
He saw a guy chopping wood, 2 lookouts in a nest, some guys eating, and a headshot assassination, but he did not see any fuel dumps. Yes, there is one, but he doesn't know that, and neither do any of the rest of these guys. Dutch sets the truck rolling into the camp with a bomb on it, but no one ever sees him or looks back to see where the truck came from. And how convenient for him that the old-ass truck that isn't even being used as a truck anymore still has perfect alignment and continues straight into its target. Why did you guys even plan anything when you had a grenade launcher? Just fire a dozen grenades in here, sort it all out later. Jesus. And yes, there's a hostage they want to save, but I'll be damned if anything they've done so far shows any regard for the life of that hostage. They don't even know where the hostage is.
Target's the center of the palapa!
Apparently Carl Weathers is a great ventriloquist, because I didn't see his lips move an inch when he said that. I swear to God, no one in this scene filmed this scene on the same day. This is as good a time as any to point out that the subtitles for this movie keep switching between telling me these gorillas are speaking Spanish and Russian. Like, they aren't even trying to tell me what the English would be. They just keep saying speaking Spanish and speaking Russian. Why even tell me the language they're speaking if I don't get to know the words? Also, why hasn't the Predator killed any of these motherfuckers? He took out an entire other team of American Special Forces sent here to save the hostages. But what, the Predators don't know these Russian Spanish assholes are here? Okay, fine, let's foolishly say he was strong enough to stay upright with the kind of recoil that BFG would kick back. Still, that kind of minigun spits out up to 6,000 rounds per minute. Not only are there not nearly enough shells on the ground, but considering we see this gun firing for about 2 minutes during this butcher block bloodbath, the 12,000 rounds of ammunition alone would have weighed almost 900 pounds. Also, this type of gun is so powerful it usually needs its own dedicated power source to operate, much like my college girlfriend.
Hostages are inside!
Yeah, the screenwriter knows this, maybe the director too, but this character sure as does not know this.
Knock, knock.
Who's there? I'm a who? I'm gonna go ahead and say if you take the time to deliver a lame joke to armed men before shooting them, that they will shoot you first. Aren't you glad I didn't say banana?
But if it's Central American, I'm a goddamn Chinaman.
Too much racism there for me to even unpack. Sin it 3 times and let's move on.
No traces. Get the men ready to move.
I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger, and this is my thinking face. Behold, how much it appears as if I'm thinking.
Son of a bitch is dug in like an Alabama tick.
You mean Nick Saban?
My men are not expendable.
Air surveillance says we got gorillas all over the place.
We never see any more gorillas the rest of the film, just FYI. This guy has the stabbing sensitivity of Data from Star Trek The Next Generation. How did he expertly stab the Scorpion without stabbing any of this guy's shirt or flesh? Exactly how many times has he done this before? I'm Sonny Landham, and this is my laughter noise. Behold how much it sounds as if I am laughing. Over 1 minute and 12 seconds of Predator vision, which is basically black screen with some sporadic thermal splotches barfed up onto the image. This is basically blindness, if you ask me. Wouldn't seeing only heat signatures and hearing only garbled audio put you at a fairly large disadvantage overall? This movie is 85% people silently walking through the woods while tense music plays. Also, don't you kind of get the sense the Predator is f***ing with them? He easily dispatched the team sent before them. He's been watching them since they arrived, but instead of laser-offing these killmongers, he's just watching them march through the jungle. He's like a horror movie ghost, f***ing around for a while, instead of just immediately killing the ones needing killing.
I guess it's nothing, Major.
It's nothing, major? Or it's nothing major. Laziest escape attempt ever, basically. She might as well have blown air on the guy or tickled him. Great whistle by Arnold here. Let's slow that down and admire how he makes that noise without ever once even moving his lips. Why is Predator making these clicking noises and giving away its position right before it attacks? Ah, red paint!
This is your blood.
How the f*** do you know that?
Major, you better take a look at this.
You better take a look at this cliche. Just f***ing look at Arnold's outfit here. It's pristine. No sign of dirt, sweat, blood, or anything else. You'd think he just spent the day watching NFL Red Zone and not, blowing up a guerrilla compound after crawling in the dirt and sneaking through the jungle for a couple hours.
Oh, painless is waiting.
Animal fake-out jump scares are the most annoying jump scares. This is the greatest squandering of ammo ever put to film in under a minute. Good thing all these weapons have the unlimited ammo cheat code activated on them. Otherwise, shooting this much without a target in sight might be considered wasteful. This prisoner girl that is somehow being held captive with a couple zip ties is the only one to see the glowing alien blood on the leaf. And because she's seen terrible decisions in sci-fi movies before, she's gonna touch that I'm Bill Duke, and this is my sad face. Behold how much it appears as if I am sad. In order to be as dexterous with these tools and machines as possible, wouldn't you think this creature might shave down those finger claws a bit? I'm just saying, someone needs a pedicure.
Where's the girl?
I could waste several minutes debating which of these fools is more to blame for the girl disappearing, but ultimately it's both of them.
He's using the trees.
Duh.
I don't know what it was.
Dun dun dun! She speaks English! But setting aside how and why she speaks English, why did she wait so long to reveal it to her captors? There's no reason for Anna to suddenly change and be helpful, other than the plot needed it to happen. It's not like Arnie even asked nicely. Ah, he did the old I pulled out my knife and it seems like I might kill you, but I'm actually cutting you free trick.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, maybe it wasn't blood at all. Maybe she saw alien earwax or snot. Maybe it was space gasoline powering some kind of spacesuit gizmo. My point is, jumping straight to blood was silly. Jumping from there straight to we can kill it is borderline certifiable. What's our old pal Freddy up to during this oh-so-exciting jungle snare-setting montage? Is there any reason for them, or us, to believe he isn't watching them lay all these traps? She literally went from prisoner and zip-tie cuffs to speaks English now and is helping with the physical labor stuff in 60 seconds.
What makes you think he's gonna come in through here?
There are tripwires on every tree for 50 yards. This is the only way in.
Okay, first of all, into what? Where you are? What makes you so certain it's after you when it spent all day watching you build all these traps and never once tried to kill you? Second of all, you are in a jungle. You're not on, like, a skinny f***ing island or peninsula. You're in a jungle. That thing could easily go around and ignore your 50-yard trees, and this dialogue is almost offensive.
El que hace trofeos de los hombres means the demon who makes trophies of man.
We just call that the Oscars.
Dutch.
Double Dutch. Look how far out here Dutch has wandered, beyond their traps, into the middle of the supposed battlefield, and nothing. So the Predator either doesn't want to win or doesn't want to win yet, right? Sure enough, though, after all these hours spent setting obvious traps out in the open, the Predator does choose that moment to show up. Like, I think the Predator has a script credit. That's how well he knows the story beats.
He's busted up pretty bad, Major.
I can make it.
Leave it, right? You're fighting an alien that can blend into the forest background. The wounded are all on their own, as far as I'm concerned.
He didn't kill you because you weren't armed. No sport.
He's right, but it kind of ruins the fun that he's right, and there's no good reason he should have figured that out on his own anyway. But whatever, movie's got a Arnold. If the Predator is this visible while not even moving, how did it set off that trap earlier right next to Dutch and he didn't see it? Honestly, once you know what you're looking for, I'm not sure this camouflage would do all that much good. I'd dig a severed arm continuing to shoot a semi-automatic weapon as much as the next guy, but that finger definitely came off the trigger when it bounced. That's it. After all that Billy build-up, we don't even get to see another unrealistic fight with outdated visual effects? You're really just gonna schlock block us like that? Wait, what? That Predator plasma cannon thingamajig blew a hole the size of Minnesota in Jesse Ventura and blew the right hook clean off Apollo Creed. So how is it leaving Dutch here with just a flesh wound?
Go! Get to the chopper!
Classic Schwarzenegger line and all, but what exactly is she supposed to do when she does indeed arrive at the chopper? Oh, hey guys, I know I'm just a local gal with the blood of your colleagues all over my shirt and all, but I was distinctly told to get to this here chopper, so all aboard? Predator already shot him. He's crawling because the Predator shot him. So why is the Predator doing nothing right now whilst he crawls towards a weapon? Oh. As Arnie flies off the edge, you can clearly see he is above the trees and rocks. But of course, when he lands, he has somehow been transported to above water. My question is, why even let the POV shot go on long enough to see the ground below? I mean, I know this was made in a time when you were probably editing with rocks and sticks and such, but geez, why make it so obvious? This stuntman looks nothing like Arnold, and I think the movie is kind of rubbing it in my face. Oh man, here we go. I'm about to shit on one of the coolest and most iconic moments in movie history. First of all, the mud is almost certainly not cold enough to lower or mask his body temperature enough to make him invisible to the predator. Second of all, even if it were cold enough, he didn't coat his skin fully or properly. Third, even if the mud were cold enough and evenly enough applied all over Dutch, from him crawling on it, that doesn't mean the predator would be blind to Dutch. It just means the Dutch shape he sees is now a different, more blue color, colder than the branches and rocks or warmer, and not the same color as humans normally read, but still, the predator should see a Dutch-sized blob right in front of it. Fourth, what about his f***ing eyeballs? Doesn't at least some heat radiate from the eyes? What is this substance on me that might have blinded my foe? I shall acquire some from my shoulder to take a closer look so the audience knows for sure why this happened. The good news is at least they didn't make him actually verbalize.
He couldn't see me.
Damn it! If you knew the psychopathic alien hunter was trying to track you down and somehow figured out that mud kept him from seeing you, wouldn't you just slather that stuff on before going anywhere? I'm just saying if it were me, I'd be so covered in mud it would look like Mr. Hanky was going out for a jungle stroll. You might think this is where the movie went full Home Alone, but that only shows how young you are, because this movie is where Home Alone got all its initial ideas from. Home Alone was literally pitched as Predator with a kid in the suburbs. Also, once again, very kind of the Predator to peace out for a long stretch of time, so Dutch can booby-trap this section of the jungle in broad daylight. Let's talk about how Dutch tied this vine to this log. He wrapped it around one end over and over, and then tied a knot above that. And somehow that multi-ton log hasn't simply fallen straight down out of that not secure wraparound vine condom. Look, everyone, Dutch made a fire at night in the jungle when he knows an alien killbot with heat vision is hunting him. Heat vision! Fire! Here in a bit, when all his traps are ready, he's going to roar into the jungle to draw the predator to him. And my point is, why? Why would he ever need to do that with this f***ing signal fire going? Yeah, no. Unless he chose to test fire that into the most rotten, deadest tree on planet Earth, this arrow is a lie. Of all the evil things predators have done, I think killing a platypus might be the evilest. Well, even if I buy that whole mud on your skin thing, applying it directly next to a raging fire seems counterintuitive. Also, what is he looking at? Did he find a mirror out here? Arg. I swear if Chris Hansen popped out right now, I'd take off 50 cents. Wouldn't all these explosions be counterproductive for the Predator's heat vision? Why wouldn't whatever the Predator version of Smith & Wesson is have developed a more non-explosive weapon system? Oh no, the Predator's unfair space laser is broken? That's too bad. Who needs breadcrumbs when the alien antagonist is bleeding in intervals this regular? Instead of easily killing him here, the Predator traps his skull, then picks him up and throws him against a tree, then leaves him and walks away and takes off his mask, because he wants to fight fair here at the end now that he's fought unfair the whole movie to wipe everyone else out and injure Dutch. Now he wants to make sure it's mono-y alien. And honestly, he can right the hell off. This does mean that the Predator has found a suitable mate, right? That's where this seductive striptease is heading, no? Why does some Predator vision without the mask look like he still sees in heat vision, and other times it just looks completely red? If I didn't know better, I'd think you were just cycling through cool 80s video effects and making it up as you go along. You don't have to read Predatorese to know a good old-fashioned pointless bomb countdown when you see one.
I want to be the people's governor.
Space, the final frontier.
This is the end.
When you absolutely, positively got to kill every motherfucker in the room, except no substitute.
It was, my friend.
I'll be there for you.
What's your name?
I am Morna of Motunui.
Alas, poor Yorick.
I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jest.
Ever since CinemaSins began, the most requested thing has been TV Sins. And now it's a reality. Click the link in the description below to check it out.